One is A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is part 2, I believe. Part 1 went up a few days ago, I think, but I actually recorded it like last week. This one, I will admit, does go a little long, clocking in at about 38 minutes, and I'm not quite that good at all of it. There's a little bit of aimless wandering. I go in the wrong direction, although I guess it's not really the wrong direction since it's Zelda, and you're encouraged to explore the environment and try and find out secrets. I actually don't find that many in this playthrough. But this is where I go to the Eastern Temple and basically try to take on the first dungeon. I do okay at first, but then I kind of degenerates into wandering aimlessly because I don't know what to do. So start off in the Sanctuary, where I left off last time, just rescued Zelda from the clutches of the wizard, and I'm going out and about in the world to find the 7 sages and try and also equip the Master Sword, which I find, but I'm unable to actually use it or get it from the pedestal in the Lost Woods because I don't have the pendants. Trying to get used to the spin attack here. If you watched the last video, I wasn't that good at the combat in this game. I'm not quite sure if it's just because I suck or if because the controls for the strange third-party controller I got that's the classic controller isn't actually the first-party Nintendo one. So I actually have never held the first-party Nintendo classic controller for the Wii, so I have no idea what the difference is between the two quality-wise. I go in here and see the fortune teller. They said they'll make it cheap, but they didn't give me a price. I think it was like 10 rupees? No, 15 rupees. Alright. Yeah, so he tells me I will find the elder blah blah blah, which isn't really a fortune, or, well, at least not a fortune in the way of, like, telling the player where to go. Although I eventually bring up the map and know where to go anyway, but right now I'm in Kakariko Village, kind of just checking things out. And here I find a wanted sign for a nice little cute version of Link running around. And I talk to this nice old lady who's like, who knows, I'm not the bad guy. I do run into a woman though later on who recognizes me from the sign and calls in a bunch of people, soldiers, to come try and capture me. In many games like this, RPGs of the olden days, to help the player basically figure out what they were doing when they would pick up a new save after, maybe a week or two of not playing it. To catch them up, they would basically put it in the dialogue system to almost every like civilian NPC that you would talk to. They would mention some slight hint of like what it was you were doing before you ditched the game to go play something else for a bit, or just put it down for a while. That was always helpful in stuff like Final Fantasy especially, where sometimes you would have the big open world like in 7 and wouldn't quite know where to go or what to do. And then there's other games like Ni no Kuni, where instead of giving you a big map in an open world and kind of letting you get lost, it always had the star that would always be on the map that would be showing you, hey, go here, this is what to do to progress the plot. Right here I'm trying to figure out this block puzzle. Can't quite get those two, I don't figure it out. I was thinking, oh, maybe if I can pull this one, but turns out they aren't all pushable in the same direction. They're like in predetermined areas. They can only go in one direction. So I come back to this later and figure it out though. Not in this video though. I'm actually quite surprised how well the quality of the video actually came out to be. Props to Nintendo for getting that emulator down really good, and also good thing I chose the right HD like upscaler for this, because it actually looks pretty clear and very colorful too. this guy runs away, and I'm sure I have to like find something. Oh, this is the nice old lady who's like, oh, I still trust you, Steven. And I just find some chickens in here, cuckoos, and I wasn't quite sure if there was like a puzzle to solve with all the chickens, but I decided to hit them all anyway. There is a crack in the wall though, which I actually forgot to get on my second time through the village. Because I eventually find bombs in the, oh, I forget if it's like a cave somewhere to the north, but I eventually find a cache of bombs and start going through and putting them where all the cracks are in the walls and whatnot. Which is a lot nicer than the way they did it in the first Legend of Zelda, where it was basically there was one secret entrance per screen. Well, not for every screen, but majority of the time it would only be one entrance per screen, and it wouldn't really indicate where it was. It was kind of like a guessing game where you'd actually have to figure out yourself by just kind of throwing bombs everywhere. So here I decided not to buy anything. And that small child told me about the elder, how he's actually trapped, or just kind of wandering near the Eastern Temple. But instead of going there, I decided to check out a few more of the buildings here in the village. Some old sleepy guy. Some guy trying to hook me up with a woman. So I just kind of wander around for a while, checking out the village. And then I check to see where exactly I'm supposed to be going. And oh, well, there it is, the X. I get a good view of a few of the buildings here. And then I see that the Lost Woods is north, so I decide to actually head up into there. So I had mentioned a complaint in the previous video about The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, giving you the map of the world pretty early on, so kind of like takes away the whole exploration element. And I thought that didn't happen in A Link to the Past, but as you just saw, it actually shows you the entire world already and kind of maps it out and shows you, well, this is where this dungeon is. And I still don't really like that. I wish they hadn't done that. I wish they had kind of maybe not taken away the map, but at least done it to where it would be filled in as you progressed. You know, sort of like Metroid. You don't start Super Metroid and all of a sudden have an entire map and know every place that you're supposed to go. There's a sense of wonder and discovery to letting the player decide, hey, I'm gonna go here and see what's over here, and oh hey, it actually turns out this is a place I can go to. Unfortunately in this, while there are secrets on the world map for sure, here you get to see me suck, just absolutely terrible at combat. Yeah, instead of giving you that sense of wonder and kind of letting you explore it, it does have some secrets on the map itself, but as far as like finding the major areas that you're supposed to go to and whatnot, it really kind of fails in that sense. And here, you know, you got these thieves running around taking my rubies, and I kept trying to like kill him, but it just seems impossible, so I eventually give up. Yeah. And then there are 4 of these like fake Master Swords, which I end up picking up all of them right now. I think I run away from this guy. Yeah, he's kind of scary actually when he's twitching like that. It's like an insane person. Ugh, yeah, so I eventually just, come on, just run away, Steven. Oh, run away. Oh, alright, there you go. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, so I eventually lose this guy, but I think there's 1 or 2 of them left, but just kind of making my way through here. Find this. Gives me a little hint saying I can give this to someone who wants it. So eventually I'll run into them. And it's a really nice overlay for the Lost Woods. Not quite the same music as the Ocarina of Time, which I really liked the Lost Woods music in that, as everyone did. Oh, and here's the Master Sword. Can't get it yet though, despite my tries. Sort of like the Sword in the Stone, where only King Arthur can pick it up. except in this case, only Link can pick it up, but only after he collects 3 pendants. Why? No, because video games. But yeah, I really like the overlay of this. Kind of shows off the capabilities of the SNES because when you look at the original Legend of Zelda, and I mean even the Adventure of Link, the Legend of Zelda 2, it's just the things that they did in those games graphic-wise wasn't super impressive. I always prefer SNES to NES. I think I mentioned that before, but like just the fog overlay and the amount of detail even in these, you know, small little pixelated characters is just such a big improvement over the basics of the NES. And I understand people love, you know, the original Legend of Zelda and even the black sheep that is, almost get killed there. What people do, you know, enjoy the black sheep that is the Adventure of Link. It's just not quite the same as Link to the Past. I can tell why people really like this as, you know, and hold it as basically the greatest Zelda game. Whether or not it'll hold my attention throughout that remains to be seen. But right now, I'm very much enjoying my time. Find another red mushroom. So right now I'm just trying to fully explore Lost Woods, figure out where everything is, kind of get a feel for the world and all that. And find a hole here. And oh, what's this? A piece of heart. Look at that. Very intimidating music in that cave, despite there being nothing there except for this thief who doesn't do anything. So I actually go up to him and say, "Oh hey, what are you doing?" Yeah, he gives me also a hint about the desert being the entrance for their hidden hideout or whatever. Yeah, I noticed he wasn't chasing after me like every other enemy was in the woods. Which indicated to me that, you know, he was an NPC. So, little gameplay hints letting you know who's an enemy and who isn't. So, I decided to pick this one up. I think I try and throw it at him too. Yeah, no, but I miss. Oh well. He didn't take my rupee that time though. I think after I get this one I end up getting bored and calling it quits. Oh, no, it's after this one. Or at least it should be. Oh. I actually end up dying. I keep forgetting that the little green cactuar in this game, you actually can't hit them because they're electrified. Because when I played A Link Between Worlds, there were variations where some of them were electrified and some of them weren't. And look at this, I just respawned and already I'm on the brink of death. And yeah, I'm not doing too well here. Trying to find some more hearts, but it seems like the bushes actually want to give out more rupees than hearts. So yeah, start making my way towards the desert temple now. Encountering some different soldiers. This one has an arrow, and they're actually quite quick. A lot quicker than I thought they would be. This guy's about to kill me. Ugh. Oh, well, I got a heart. And I don't figure it out till later, though, that when you're not attacking, your shield's actually up, which is very helpful and lets you, yeah, see, I noticed it there. Yeah. You know, it helps you block the arrows that are coming in, so as long as you're not recklessly swinging your sword with abandon, you'll be able to block any incoming, well, not any incoming, but at least the arrows. I try to fight these guys, but I end up dying. Man, I am not very good at this. Yeah, so this time I decide I'm just going to run past everyone. I really don't care. Ugh. Or not. Alright, there you go. Alright. Just run past. Yeah, don't. No, stop. I'm so disappointed with my past self. Oh, there you go. Nice. Oh yeah, so I start getting arrows, even though I don't have the bow. I actually won't get the bow until the video after this one. In this video, I actually get into the dungeon, and I get pretty far. I think I get up to almost like the last, a little bit before the last stretch of rooms. But after that, I get, well, before that actually, I get stuck and end up not knowing what to do. So I leave the dungeon and wander for a while before deciding to quit. Then I come back with a little bit more equipment and extra heart after looking up some secrets that are back in Kakariko Village and make that mistake again. Ugh, really need to remember that these guys you have to use ranged weapons on. Or at least stun them first with the good old boomerang before you do anything. So I give this woman the mushroom. Obviously she's cooking something up. And she tells me to come back later on after I give her the mushroom. There we go. So I think, oh hey, you know, I'll give it some time. Turns out all you have to do is actually leave the screen and then come back and enter the house and she'll give you the magic powder. But I actually don't do that until the next video. So right now I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll come back later. Goodbye, old woman. And I'm like, alright, well, where am I supposed to go? Alright, I guess I'll go to the desert. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with like killing all the enemies that I come across. It only ends up in me drawing closer to death. It never ends with me perfectly taking them out. I always lose health. Yeah, see, and I'm just like trying to take these guys on now. It's just like, no, just leave them alone. They don't even give you hearts. That was close. I could have died there very easily. Yeah, that was a pretty obvious arrow leading to the water below. I messed up the right button there for the boomerang. I forget which one it is. So yeah, it turns out the boomerang actually doesn't do damage, it just stuns them. And here I'm testing out the amount of time that the stun lasts for. Because originally I thought it was once you hit them with the sword, you'd have to stun them again. But turns out they actually stay stunned for a certain amount of time with the boomerang, and then they go back to being normal. So yeah, there you go. So I was able to get that guy, and then he starts getting a little jittery and comes back to life. There you go, got them both. Now I know how to use the boomerang kind of effectively. Hopefully run past these guys without getting killed. Oh dear. Oh, that was close. Oh, it's dangerous territory, Steven. More boomerang. Really getting risky here. Ooh, man. Yeah, getting real risky here, and I decided to bail. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, and here we are, in the correct area now. Hit this guy hoping for heart, but nope, just gives me money. Everyone loves giving me money, nobody wants to give me a heart. Yep, more money. Man. Things I would do for a heart. Oh. Yeah, that heart beat gets real annoying. Oh my gosh, somebody give me a heart. Nope, not even the statue. Yeah, I remember these guys from A Link Between Worlds as well. So, I know their shtick is to act all cool and unmoving, and then all of a sudden they'll come to life. Stun that guy. Head up the stairs. I was a little worried there that both of them were going to come to life and try and get me, but turns out just going straight up works out pretty well for you. And here I'm just trying to clear out everything. Still only will give you money. The music's really good in this dungeon. I like it. It's very different from the main theme. It's quite spooky. Oh. And I take a hit and die for the third time in this video. So, thankfully the game allows me to continue at the start of the dungeon instead of way back home. But yeah, the music is very effectively spooky in this part. It actually kind of makes me want to play the entire game with headphones, but unfortunately the game audio wouldn't be captured if I wore headphones, so a little more cautious this time, getting past these rolling balls of lead. Let's go with lead. It's almost like an organ being played. And it does remind me, oh hey, look at that, 100 rubies. And it does remind me a bit of the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, which is very, very high on the list of game soundtracks for me. Just the amount of memories attached to that soundtrack, as well as just the quality itself, is sky high. But I really appreciate the Legend of Zelda dungeon music here. Kind of I was a little worried that that guy was gonna come to life. Didn't notice the switch on the floor though. I think I'll notice it on this one. Yep, there we go. So. And I remember the skeleton guys from Link Between Worlds, how they would jump up whenever you'd attack them. Basically, you'd have to get them in a corner to really take them out. And my obsessive nature hits again with having to take out all the enemies before I proceed. Turns out the boomerang actually harms the skeletons as well, unlike just stunning the previous ones. Little depth trick there that I fell for. And then I decided to see if there's anything down there that I can access, but nope, turns out nothing. And this is when I started to realize why the 3DS was used to, make a sequel to this game, because already here in the first dungeon you're seeing, I mean even in the main world too, you're seeing that there's a lot of depth with the different levels of I guess of height or altitude that you can get in the game. But I think it really comes into its own in this level where, like you just saw with that little depth of field trick. Oh, here we go, found the map. Check out the map. Oof, very large level here. But I really do think the whole depth tricks are really showcased in this first dungeon more so than in the main world. So finished up whatever was on that side, and now I'm on my way here. Try to bring the pot with me through the door, but turns out you actually can't do that. Right now I'm trying to figure out what areas I can and can't go to currently. Take out a few skeletons with the boomerang. Yeah, there we go. At one point I knew I started messing with the boomerang coming back to me to get them on the way, on its return trajectory. Now in this room, surprisingly, the skeletons on the floor don't turn into actual skeletons. They actually just stay as bones on the floor. I believe in A Link Between Worlds they kind of twist that on its head and actually have them come to life. And oh, here, look at that. My first bomb. And the usual dungeon queue letting you know that the door is now open. Oh, and the compass. Very good. And I actually believe I end up wasting the bomb. Ah, see, this guy's talking to me, even though I actually technically haven't met him yet. I just came straight to the dungeon. Quite on accident, too. I wasn't purposefully making my way to the dungeon. It just so happened that I got here first. And oh, now I discover these guys, their unrelenting assault. It isn't until later that I learned that throwing the pots directly into their weakness, the eye, actually ends up killing them with a one shot. I'm trying to get that guy to die, get my heart, and check out this big treasure chest. Nope, can't get it, need the big key. I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go to get that key. And along the way, pick up more arrows for my bow later on. Here's another little depth of field trick. Now we're stuck in a place with not much light. Oh, and unlock that, but have to make another round before I can actually enter it. And there we go. Stuck with more skeletons and a bunch of pots. Have to find where the switch is. Or is it the key? I believe it's actually a key that I have to find. There it is. So yeah, I think this is where I find out that throwing the pots at enemies is actually a much more effective means of taking them out than the general sword and boomerang combination. But yeah, now I have the key so I can open the west door and return to the beginning area, except now in a previously inaccessible hallway. And now this is the room where I get stuck, where I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to get into that last pot area. I originally thought that I would be able to just kill the I guess it's anti-parries is what they were, is what I read, with the bomb. So I waste my one bomb on them, and it ends up doing nothing. The only way to actually kill them, which actually isn't even killing them, is to use the magic dust that you'll get to turn them into fairies, which will then heal you. So, if I had used this pot on the eyeball guy, it would have been great, but I ended up wasting it, and I ended up trying to figure out what the heck it is I'm supposed to do to unlock that door, but nothing's working, and I end up not killing that eyeball guy, who I still don't know what his name is, so I'll continue referring to him as eyeball guy then. So, there, I keep hitting him, but I decide to give up on that chase. I'm looking for a switch, if any, but nothing's coming in, so trying to attack them head on. That's not working. Yeah, so trying to check the map, but there's no other room that I haven't explored except for this one. So I give up and decide to just leave. And checking the map again to see if there's anything I missed. And yeah, just kind of wander for a while. Not quite sure what to do. Pretty lost, which can be frustrating. Especially when I made so much progress. Although, really this first dungeon isn't that challenging. Despite me dying 3 times already in this video. But, well, there you go. A 4th time. Dead. So right here I ponder saving and quitting. But I decide no, I'll continue for a little bit more. Yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe there's actually nothing there. And the game, curiously, instead of sending me back to the very beginning, just respawns me at the entrance of that door. Which I actually wasn't expecting. I thought I would go through the motions of you are dead, game over, back to the first start of the dungeon. So I decide to leave, see what else there is to do in the open world, see that X that I actually haven't visited yet, and decide to check that out. Gotta get past this annoying blue guy first, though. Ugh. Yeah, just run away. Steven. Try and see how far I can get. Just go down. Oh, well, I guess that way works too. I notice I haven't been in this building yet, so that must be my destination. And turns out it is. Old man sage here. Or elder. Yes, he who wears the 3 pendants. Why? Well, because it's tradition, that's why. No real reason except to extend game time. And here I see a crack in the wall, but just ignore it. For reasons as mysterious as they are scary. And now I see that there are 3 pendants as well as the Master Sword marked on my map. Look at that. I decide to take my anger out on that living statue. Same with this one. Oh, except I get hit that time. Which makes me even angrier. Dead end, dead end. Gotta go back. Oh man, do I really go back to the dungeon? I totally forgot about that. Well, back to the dungeon it is. Check the map once again. Same as I left it. Nothing's changed. Oh, well, let's check it one more time, just to be sure. And we're back. These guys aren't moving at first, so just make my way around them. So in this, I'm trying to get back to where I was and figure out if there's something I missed. For some reason, I don't realize what I missed was I didn't kill that last enemy in that room until very later on. Once I do realize it, though, in the next video, I breeze my way through the rest of the map. Although, actually, no, I think I do die once. Lots of dying so far. 4 in this video. I think there was 1 in the previous video. Actually, no, I believe in the second video that I'll be doing, I actually edited out my death to save on time. which I should have done for this one, but for some reason I decided to keep it unedited. Oh, missed that one. Proceed further. Been here, done that. Not much new to see. Still think this is something that I can pull out from the rock for some reason, and then try and pull on this thing or push it to get through that way, but it's a one-way ticket. Well, I can move it, but it just ends up blocking me. Some parts of me wonders while I watch this also about the shield that I'm carrying right now with its plain blue design. I wonder if there's a more advanced shield that I'll get later on that either has the classic Hylian design on it or simply changes color. I do know that, spoilers, the Master Sword actually changes my sword color to blue. Or not blue, sorry about that, orange. And can be upgraded further, just like in A Link Between Worlds. Yeah, kind of just ignore that skeleton and decide to move onwards. So yeah, about a minute left here. Congratulations if you decided to slog through this and watch me play Link to the Past. Not quite well. Not quite that terrible though. I got some stuff done in the dungeon. Not all of it. I eventually figure it out with the help of an online guide, but this has been Steven playing, well, going through Unplayed Essentials, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And if you want to watch any more of my videos, as well as the stuff I do with my friends, you're already in the right place at Illustrious Magic. And you can follow me on Twitter at #8axel. Oh, there's the bomb. Ends up going off at the wrong time, though. But yeah, you can watch everything else we do at Illustrious Magic. And you can check out the stuff I do for DualShockers. I'll be playing Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain very soon, since it comes out Tuesday. And as always, thank you for watching.